Alright, so the desperate project found the bug. Looks right. Okay. Actually, this done ran a lot. It has ran a lot. The printer table doesn't have a user ID column. This is the bug I caused. It works. The full pipeline works. Take complete. Found another bug. Previous was wrong. Projects and task list always show in the sidebar even when the user has. Oh, that was the problem. They took it out. Okay, just making sure. The Aeon wallet. Define the function that shows Aeon wallet overlay. So let me see what this was. So when you try to go and pay, it might put me out. It probably already did. Oh no. That I would seem that to be another issue. Let's kill that. Pull another incognito. And we're almost to the end. We'll fix the little design issues and stuff later on. They're not really that big of a deal. I don't like them. And if I say pay with Aeon, unexpected token. Aeon, something about error loading Aeon prices. Unexpected token. Not valid JSON. Alright, so that'll fix that issue. And that way I will just pay, because I think even as an admin, I don't get unlimited use. But since I have Aeon, I'll pay with that. Let's go into chat. See what runs this time. Came out with the same thing. And I want to watch this up here, which there is an issue. Alright, so building goes into a loop. Let me actually take a look, because I know what I saw, but I want to make sure it's how I saw it. And that's what it was. I would hit chat, and then when I put in this, it loads up the prompt. So it has the project. Okay, I see what's going on. Once project is created, it does not show the projects option in the menu. Also, user is stuck on chat while it loops, but then it goes into the created project. All right, I'm gonna have to reset the laptop in just a second. And I'm I'm gonna have to reset it because it's been running for hours and hours and hours. And eventually, let's see, everything works where it should. All right, that works. And we'll just fix the spacing issues that are on there. All right, so while it's doing that, which we see that as a glitch, let's see if we can go to setting, unable to load settings info, which makes no sense. So let me put here. I still need to put this in, so we'll add this to it. Model views should not show fetch if there is no data. Doesn't need that option. So we're just gonna go through and do a check. That's good. Billing plan, Square account. Let me see. Connect to Square. Mine should already be connected, but I need to see about that. So billing. This is kind of what the difference is. We also need to ensure difference from user and admin. Admin's Clajama settings are for the system. If admin has access to their own user abilities, for testing and use, the user menu, the user role and admin role must have a separation. And so that would be for me as an admin, or let's just say somebody else bought this, wanted it, took control of it. We wouldn't want them thinking that they're going in here doing their personal stuff, but personal testing will be like up here. So we'll look over admin missions in a second. And this one is once I connected these in, and I need to check that out because we already have Square connected in. Because if you go here and upgrade to a plan, it's going to create the checkout for you. You're going to be in a Square. So that part already works. I just need to find out what's up with that option down there. Form submissions. Don't really think that one's good. This is how much balance is left inside of the LLM. This is so it alerts me, warns me, and it's getting a live update every so often. I think like every 30 minutes or every 12 hours. Let's check the blog. I am going to write a blog, but I don't like this page, so I don't want to start using it. I want it to look the way I want it to first. Jama and Mind are somewhat similar. Behind Clajama is an internal ALM, is what I'll call it. It's not a large language model. It's an algebra language model. And it's learning the patterns through everything that's in here, so Clajama actually learns only what Clajama needs to know to operate itself. And also to capture the patterns within this industry. So pipeline doesn't work. Jama is a chat, so Jama and chat should not be the same. Even for the admin, the Mind, if I can get the Mind to load, it's a really cool thing. So on my local computer or my laptop, the Mind has a full user interface. It maps which body parts are going off. So if you talk to it, you'll see its ear module light up, and then it shows you the connections to all its other modules. So it takes in at the kernel level inputs from keystrokes. Yeah, that one, the mind is a heavy, and I have to go back through this because with the way that we're turning words into numbers, you can put 20 terabytes of data into 20 gigabytes. So if you keep making that subtraction out, so from terabyte to gigabyte, you could do 200 gigabytes into um, what is it? 200. Let me go back. Just want to make sure really quick. Let's see if I can, and I'm pretty sure that's right. It just sounds crazy. If I convert 20 terabytes of data down to 20 gigabytes, how much of 20 gigabytes would I be able to go down to? Yeah, that's what I thought, 20 megabytes. So that sounds crazy, but using field algebra, um, it's being trained on Common Crawl. And if we can get 20 terabytes down to 20 gigabytes, we can get 20 gigabytes down to 20 megabytes. So it sounds crazy, but if you strip out all the parts that you don't actually need for processing, or if you come up with your own way of representing each word and each pattern, not using infrastructure, but using just pure algebra, there would be this pattern that would emerge. We've already said every word that exists. Of course, people are going to make new little funny words or slang, but you can only use language in one way so many times. Hello, hi, hey, how are you? They all mean the same thing, just different format of the very base or the pie language of it. Which I could be crazy, I could be wrong, but I'm actually watching this happen. So yeah. And I started that project like 10 years ago. I was writing all over the wall. And then when they came out with ChatGPT, I was like, dang, it's already done. And I think at that time, machine learning was the AI. There was no chat. And then chat popped out. But they had the other chat bots and stuff, but they weren't using that level. They weren't using like that much infrastructure. All right, so I'm waiting on confirmation. Shows the wallet overlay. All right, added a polar. There's no HTML for the header. HTML output doesn't match the CSS classes. Now, the LLM output is excellent. The JSON config is complete, well-structured, with real content, proper pixel queries, no placeholders. The issue is the renderer. It's not rendering the JSON config properly in HTML. Now I see the rendering pipeline. Okay, so there's no dedicated block template. The blocks are in blocks. Let me look at this. Now I see the header block template uses inline styles, not CSS classes. It's actually fine for rendering. The inline styles work. The real problem with building is everywhere else. The logo is empty, obviously. Okay, step 9 is missing. That's all fine. Confirm. But the save has logo. Something normalization. Normalization went to try to fix that. The critical fields, got you. Preview is the issue. The issues found. The pixels issue. The fix. Token limits. Yeah, it's been doing a lot of work. I just leave it alone so I'm not sitting here forcing it to keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. It says everything is done. Now, one thing in everything I just read is everything I just read about the render issue was that it's not doing. Okay, so let's just see what it fixed. Let me ask you, because it's got an auto sync, so it'll auto sync to the server. Takes about 5 minutes, so if it just finished, we'll just close this out. Grab another incognito. And set up Clajama. And we'll get a dedicated login thing or whatever at some point. Because me saying start your business, if I'm logging in, I don't want to start a business. All right, so dashboard is malfunctioning. And it could still be processing. Let's go back to dashboard. Let's go to home. So see how the authentication, either it's not actually authenticated me. Right, we'll hit that one again. Let's try that again. And if not, we'll just report that error. Yeah. All right. So authorization is broken. User logs in, sees the non-logged in users menu, 500 on dashboard. No access to any logged in user benefits. Do not do inline CSS. Multiple updates to multiple places. And that's the main thing we want to do. You don't ever want it to be where someone says change the color of the heading text to green, and then they come back and it ain't changed. It's changed everywhere else but that one spot. That wouldn't make sense. All right, so we've looked into that. It's coming out different. Once we get the auth issue fixed, hopefully, which I can see why it broke. The changes that we were making were inside of they were inside the off system for the menu. So it just kind of looks like either it's losing authorization, not keeping track of it. So after the person logs in, it's not looking to say, oh, person logged in is XYZ or a roll check or something of that nature. And that's why it's showing no one a menu. It's showing the menu everybody can see. Genius, 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 genius. So while I'm waiting, because I want to make sure it does a full sync and does a second check, Clajama is not to take away people who love the computer's jobs. It's not what Clajama is about. Let's imagine, let's just imagine Clajama becomes the #1 tool. It integrates all the agentic things that regular people need. It doesn't matter what tool we come up with, there's always going to be the people who need to be serviced. That is business. We're in 2026 going into 2027. Some people still don't have food. Some people still ain't got education. Some people still don't have a house. Some people still don't have a car. Some people still don't have a computer. Some people still have not had the time to sit down and learn how to do any of this stuff. Some people don't even have the time or the patience or the self-control to watch a 30-minute YouTube video to get the result they want. What's even more amazing and what's even better about AI, in my personal opinion, yes, it does have its disruptive abilities, but you have to still look at AI as not a person. It's a service. It's just like Walmart, Costco's, Burger King, McDonald's, Whataburger. They're all selling the same one thing. They all have the same kinds of employees. They all seat people similarly. So if people have never taken the time to fulfill all of their needs and sit down and stop everything to solve all their own problems, there are some people who are not even going to sit down with an AI and talk to it. They don't talk to people about what they're trying to do. They don't look for answers because they're buying answers. I have told people many, many times, hey, this is what I charge, but here are the instructions to go use Claude and you'll get the results you want. I don't want to do that. I want you to do it. I've had people even tell me, because I'm trying to get away from doing manual computer work. That is what I'm doing. I actually don't want people calling me to tell me, hey, update the date on my website. I don't want people, I want to always be making something. I don't want to stop whatever I'm doing to have a customer say to me, hey, I just need you to change this date. how much would you charge me for that? I'm going to charge you a revision fee. That's what I'm going to charge you. That's what I'm going to do. But if you, or if the customer is going to look at me and say, hey, it's just one word, okay, that's fine. But I'm going to have to log in. First off, not even that. I might be on the couch. I'm going to have to get up. But even before that, I'll have to stop what I'm already doing that I want to be doing, whether it's work, leisure, whatever it is. This person has an expectation, which is a time frame, so I'm on their time. I got to get up. I got to type in a website. I got to log in, and probably if I don't keep their login stuff or any of those types of things, I got to ask them again and start the whole conversation. If they don't have it, or if they're busy because they don't want to stop what they're doing, and I got to wait on them, that's another thing. Then if they don't respond to me, I might go back to doing what I'm doing, and then when they finally give it to me, I have to get up again. If I have logged out, if I have sat back down, cleared the cache out, and now I got to come back, look at it again, type it in, log in, then go change it. Then I got to save it. Then I got to tell that person, hey, it's done. Now, the problem between that is, did I get paid already, or am I waiting to get paid? So if it's taking us almost an hour just to get the stuff needed for that, why shouldn't I charge a fee for those steps? Because other than that, I would send to the person and say, hey, all you gotta do is log in, open the editor, click the word 2 times, change it to what you want, and click save. I don't want to do that. Hey, bring me the remote. It's right next to you. But you're standing up. No, I mean literally. Look, it's right next to your hand. Nah, just bring me the remote. Just bring it to me. So I wouldn't take AI as something to be afraid of. I think it's something to utilize, because everyone is not going to use all the tools. They never will. It never has been in history. Okay, ChatGPT has almost 1 billion users. Claude, they're probably all sharing the same people. You know, but there's still customers asking for websites to be made. There's Kimmy too. There's dude, in the free version of Claude, you can build a whole website. Now the problem, can you publish that website? Yeah, you probably could. But a person who needs computer help will need the steps to do everything if they don't know what to ask for. The prompt that says build me a website doesn't say host it. The prompt that says build me a website doesn't say even if the person wants to buy it or not. The prompt to build a website doesn't add in additional functionality without a cost. So at some point, someone's getting paid somewhere and someone's time is being spent. I would not care about AI. So again, while I'm waiting for the sync, Clajama is not trying to be the Walmart of the web design world or of the digital assistant world. It's set up to where you can do Clajama 1 of 2 ways. Either you are a Clajama customer, which would mean the customers I have that I'm pushing into Clajama, they're already customers of Clajama. Now, if another person comes and says, hey, well, I have a customer already. I don't want you to take my customer. And I want the customers that I find to still be my customers. You would just purchase for the site. And I'm also working on transfers. I'm also working on transferring. So once the sites are fully built, I'll activate the transfer function, and then a person could say, hey, Mr. Johnson or Miss Jackie, I finished your website for the $399 that I told you. Oh, it was $399 and you built it with AI. Why is it so high? Well, there's certain things AI cannot do. There are certain API keys that only allow you to go so far. And unless I have a master API key where I can get it to get me a key for you every time automatically, these things are manually done. I'm charging you for the time, for the expertise. And then one of the biggest things is, if I were to build something by the industry standard, I'm talking about industry standard, and showed it to somebody who this is their first website or their first something, they may want things that are actually going to affect their success. For example, oh, it looks great, but I want a video header that plays as soon as the person lands on the website. It can be done. It can be done. Well, I don't want that video. I want this video. Well, send me your video. Well, this video is the wrong size. Well, can you crop it and edit it? Yeah, but that's another cost. Even if you take the AI and were to run the AI as much as you want it to, there's still human intervention that is needed. And I actually wouldn't want to be completely in a world where I just literally look at something and go, hey, make this for me, boom. Actually, I take that back. Because you can't actually do that with Clajama. But I guess for me, what would be the dead point, or just a line we don't cross? One, we don't want to do world domination. Two, we want to stabilize the existing way things work. Number three, by integrating our own cryptocurrency that you can't purchase, we can actually generate the same system that we're saying for people who want to work with Clajama. So, for example, if Aeon pays 1 per day, we're going to need to make it to where we accept that same amount to cover a subscription. So we'd have to figure that out fairly. It would have to make sense, and then that way there are people who actually don't have access. You probably would just sign up, grab a wallet, wait however many days it takes to acquire a monthly subscription, do your math. For example, I opened an Aeon account today. It takes however many days or how many hours to generate enough to pay for my Clajama subscription. It's not gonna be 30 days, 15 days. It doesn't take that long to earn enough money to purchase this service. It doesn't take a lot of work. And so we need to implement that into our monetary currency, so that people who don't have anything can actually purchase a service technically per free, but they're also helping us engage in utilization. So my kids just came outside. And they're on the pool. I can't walk inside and leave, not watch them. I can't get to my computer. You know what? This is perfect. Let's see if I can get Goose to open up a Google desktop share, so that way I can stay out here. So let me text Goose. Can you open a Google desktop share code? Actually, I need a remote connection. My children are in the pool, and I can't get back to the machine. If you can't, get OpenClaw to do it. So I utilize everything. When I was saying a while back, I had used AterChat, I had used Goose. Well, I currently use Goose by Block, and I was using OpenClaw. Each one of them is really good, but they're good at different depths of usage. They're good at really different depths. Say anything OpenClaw. Let me try to correct function name format. Let me, what is it called? Google Desktop View? Remote desktop. Yeah, there we go. Connect to another computer. To remotely access another computer, I need a Google, what is this called? Remote desktop. I need a Google remote desktop code to connect. And one thing about Goose goes into a lot of searching. Goose is very thorough, but accuracy wise, I mean, it's good. It's good. I mean, but for me, so it can be installed via Snap. No, it's an app. No, you just go to Google Desktop, Google Remote Desktop website. That's all you do. It's not an app. Yeah, it's called. Yeah. Copy. Come on, Goose. See, Goose is outdated right now. Paste. All right, so it's asking me for my pseudo code. It's saying it's gonna try with my password. My computer is already set up to where I shouldn't have it should not have any resistance to what I ask it to do. Because I know when I installed it on Windows, or why you don't really see me use Windows, is it's so restrictive. And yeah, maybe it has changed. WSL was cool and all. Hang on one second. Hey, you close the latches, latch it together or something. The zipper. Close the latches. No, the latches. He broke the zipper. Close the safety latches. The two clips. No, the clips. Yes, the clips. All right, yeah, I gotta go watch a TikTok video to use a fork to fix the zipper on that thing. Me, I wind up letting them put two kiddie pools on a trampoline with the safety net around it. All right, got it. Now let me open the Chrome Remote Desktop, set up URL. How long it's gonna take? I really think OpenClaw would have been done by now, but I think it's this remote connection. All right, so I'm waiting on that to work. Let me see what Clajama looks like now on mobile. Where I collect bugs over here. Menu transparency is not good. It's too light. Got 500 error logging in the dashboard. That's still happening. We still don't have the proper menu. The header options are not working. And so if Goose can't do this for me, come on, bro. I just need a connection. The system is overriding the bind settings. All right, let me ask you this. Can you just give it? Can you let's see. Can you just get me a connection? And that'll be one thing. If I'm talking to an AI that I'm using to help me, and it's still having issues pointing to it, and I am still experiencing these types of issues, it's just kind of in translation. Done. I've launched Chromium on your machine. You should see a browser window opener screen. Click remote assistance, generate a code, share the code. All right, so let me go back over here, connect to another computer. No, you need to give me a code. No, you give me an access code. Yeah, you're right. Just let me generate a one-time access code. Hang on. Hold on. Just play. I'm busy. You don't realize I'm watching them the whole time. Hey, you have to have shoes, and you need to have towels so you're not coming in and out and getting water. Do not go inside without telling me. Nope. You did that again? You snuck in there to sneak out here and do that again? All right, so you can reword it however you want to. Let's go down to first grade. Did you bring soap out here? Yesterday, didn't you bring soap out here? Yesterday, didn't I say do not put soap on this? So what are you telling me about whose soap it is, and then also the fact you're already sneaking out? It don't look good for you at all. There's cameras over here. And then she's telling and you're trying to tell her not to tell. So somebody's gonna get hurt and it's gonna be a problem I gotta deal with because you are sneaking in and being disobedient. Get that soap and throw it in the trash and don't do it again. Do you understand? What's today? You have to get into bed at 9:30 unless you earn a longer time. Do you understand me? If you forget or act like you don't remember, it's 9:30 for the rest of the summer until you earn it back. Hey, you get out. Him. She didn't do nothing. Then what are you talking about? For what? For what? You just came out here to bring soap so y'all can play together. Now you got attitude. How about this? I need you to get out and you can come back out when you're done doing that. That's what you can do. And if you don't come back out, that's fine. It's your decision. Take the shoes with you. You could come back out when you have a better attitude. It's summertime for me too, not just you. And you could come back when you're ready to. Okay. So unfortunately, not even unfortunately, that's who I am. That's the way I am. These are my kids. They got to be able to think. And I don't, not right now. And I don't like when people try to manipulate the words of the sentence. If you had heard that part, then you'll catch it. But I don't want to dig in on that. So, anyways, the AI is a great tool, but it's just like a computer. After a while, it's just a tablet for playing games on and doing stupid stuff. And we're gonna still see it the way that we see it. We're still gonna utilize this tool. A word processor is a tool. Imagine how people felt when the word processor came out. So you're telling me I'm not gonna be on my typewriter all day? No, I refuse to use the new tool. But look, it's the same keyboard. It doesn't feel the same. I must hear the clicking sound. They didn't lose an opportunity. They decided not to go along with it. How many people to this very day will not type? How many people to this very day will not read? We're never, ever, ever going to be out of business. I don't care what machine they make. Even if they make 1,000,000 robots, how many of them is it gonna take to cut some grass? How much money is it actually gonna take to get a robot to cut grass the way people like to cut grass? I know they got the robot with the lasers who can go over all the tall stuff, yada yada yada. But grandma might want her flowers trimmed, or old man Jenkins might still want to get his tree limbs cut, or Miss Patterson might want the vines pulled down just 1.5 inches, growing up the fence. The work is never gonna go away. The work is never gonna go away. We're just making bigger hammers, bigger nails, and doing the same thing we've been doing forever. All right, so let me check on this connection, because again, I got a kid out here in a pool. And generate a one-time access code. You're still doing that? Are you still, hello code? So even the way I'm dealing with them to do stuff I know they can do, and they're made by teams that I'm using to help me do what I'm trying to do, we could have got a code already. Let me create a dedicated config. No, this is what you're gonna do. How about this? You're just gonna open up a Chrome browser, go to that link, click, create a code, take that code, and then just send it back to me. You don't need no scripts. All you need is browser access. You're right. I have the browser tools. Let me do. Come on, bro. Are you serious? This thing was just crying about getting a popsicle, and I just went like, hey, there's one already in your other hand. Oh yeah. Oh, I do got a popsicle already. But I've already added all this to this memory. I've already done all the configurations that should notice. It also shouldn't be having to rediscover its own abilities. But I will give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm burning a hole in this machine. Now, I ain't doing $1 million in compute. I'm doing $1 million in productivity. All right, you got the link. Since you can see the screen, it should show you from there. No. Give me the code, dude. You are to generate the code to give to me, remember? All right, so that might not work. Like I said, I can't leave him out here in the pool. So you're stuck on a Clajama YouTube broadcast. Obviously the screen is not moving. Duh. That's talking about using Selenium. It's going to the next level. You was just on the browser. Chrome is running, but without remote. Let me kill it and restart. It's finna burn probably about 1,000 tokens just trying to figure out how to use the browser. So I'm gonna get this. Oh, he came back out. He's ready to play. Okay, cool. That's all it takes. Chrome running. Let me try a different port. How about this? Just stop. That's what you can do. You can just stop. That's what you're fixing to do. Let me get a new chat going. Now I gotta go back over here and look again. So we have a menu issue. Will you please go back through all communication, list all issues I have stated concerning the menu. Then go back and find all issues that I have said concerning the top right menu with the icons. Then I need you to list those issues, the ones that no longer exist, and tell me what you must do next and do it. What we're about to do is ensure that you can take code and visually comprehend human methods of telling you what they see into the code. You must listen to the human unless it is a cache or stale code issue and they just have not seen it yet. Do not try to convince the person what they see is not what they see. The server-side issues and caching issues have no concern of the user. They do not care. Yes. Yeah, I've already answered that 3 times. I've answered it 3 times. No. No. Is that a towel? No, don't do that. And don't throw it in the trees. Sit it down so the sun can dry it off. No. And then you end up putting soap on here and doing a backflip and breaking your neck. I'm not going to the hospital, bro. It's probably dirty because you got in. Says I'll start by searching through our chat history for all menu related issues. Great. I have chat recall available. Let me search. Let me look. I see menu items, remote desktop. Specifically, let me look. It's going through all the chats to find how many times I've spoken about this menu. And I think this is pivotal in AI. It should also have a reference to say, hey, if the person is still complaining about this same thing, something's wrong. I think computer vision is very important. But for me, as far as how much I have been invested into creating this, I wouldn't use computer vision. At this point, I would not. It is going to help get to market quicker. If, for example, the site gets built, Claude uses Claude imaging to take a picture. Claude identifies everything wrong with it. Claude creates a list that it sends back into Clajama to transfer to the LLM. And then the LLM will come back and make the changes. The LLM will make the changes. Claude will take a picture. Then you have to ensure that all routes are correct. I would assume that if AI overlooks something like that, it does not see that. So then I would use Claude again or something else, probably Kimi. Or I wouldn't even use the LLM. I would use something like a route tracer. Just hit every single route and make sure you don't get a 500, this error, that error. A 200 will at least mean it's there. But that would lead to a problem that what if the route is incorrect and it's routing to something completely different that will give you a 200. So then, you know, I think it's mostly tools and AI. I would not utilize so many tools. And with the build system, we are actually going to literally only be using tokens for content almost. The prompt will go in for the customer. The prompt will get processed into whatever they're asking for. But all of it is a template that already exists. So it's not going to rewriting HTML from scratch, doing experimental changes. It has a base system to alter first. So hey, if this person wants a form, you have to have shoes on. If a person wants a form that's for, let's just say, RSVP to a party, or another person is RSVP for tickets. Another person's is a checkout form for a show. All of these are forms. So if we already have the hard design of a form, then we could just go take the form and say, well, hey, just duplicate this part, change the titles, and then you may have to change its action, its submission. What does it do on the end? So RSVP, and really any form, is going to need the ability to alert the person the form belongs to with the information. Secondly, it's going to need to tell the other person, thanks for your submission, blase, blase. The last thing would be if there's an action attached to it. Do you fill this form out and pay for something? Do you fill this form out and go to another form? Is it a multi-form? It would just depend on the next action. But we wouldn't want to keep recreating forms over and over again, not from their base that's in all of them, or even buttons. Button, link, color, URL, buttons. Somebody goes, hey, I want some large buttons that say win, win, win in Sanskrit, dark blue, fading into an animation of yellow. You can still do that. You would just alter CSS and probably JavaScript as well. Okay, let's see what we got. It says now I have the full picture. Let me synthesize everything I found from the code and from the project hints that you have written. Let me also check a few more details. That's one thing I like about Goose. Goose by Block, the Goose agent. Very persistent, and you know what? I'll even take the blame for this. I am optimizing settings. I'm not even using DeepSeek V4. I'm not using ChatGPT. I'm not using Claude and Gemini at the height of it. So I will use Claude for certain stuff where, you know, Claude is like a different person. And Claude's good at this. This person's good at that. That person's good at that. But Gemini, you know, I'm not going to get into that. We were delayed 6 months using the Gemini system and their 1 million tokens. And it comes to find out, I read just the other day that I think Google CEO was like, we're behind on coding. I could have told you that. You could have called me. Hey man, you using it? This dude is on this computer manually, not through API, for 15 hours a day, working on the same code base, almost a year. Hey man, you paying that subscription? Hey man, what you think? I would have been like, bro, this thing is this. I could have told him that for free. And so that's why I went from Gemini to AterChat. AterChat was very, 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 very good, but AterChat was overcome by its inability to autonomously manage the files. I had to constantly talk about one, bring one in. I was managing context. It was an advanced tool, but once OpenClaw came out, I literally stopped using Ater that day. Oh, it wasn't OpenClaw before that. It was something else, Claude or something, Claudebot. Yeah. All right. It says it has a full picture, taking 4 hours to answer me. Now I ain't gonna make these kids go inside just because I got stuff to do. Menu hasn't changed. We can try to get back to the dashboard. None of that. Whoops. All right, we're in incognito. Nope, same thing with the menus. Let's see what happens after log in. Yeah, same thing, 500. Menu is still, all right. So it's working on an auth issue, definitely. An auth template issue, because the template would be if user is logged in, you would show them the regular user menu. The issue that triggered all of this, there were 2 entries into project creation. You could create a project from the chat, and then you also could go to your projects to view them. But if you didn't have any projects, it would say, hey, what do you want to make? But it was using a form style. The other one was using a chat style. And the form style was collecting exact information. The chat style was pretty much just going, just tell me what you want, with the expectations the user is tech savvy or content rich or has all the answers. And if the person didn't put it in there, it would immediately take off and start building. Nothing wrong with that. But just taking off and starting building doesn't actually respect Um, and that's actually the answer right there. Actually, just that's the answer right there. That is the answer right there. That's the answer right there. There's a difference between a business someone is just now starting, where we're picking colors, we're doing all these things. And then there's a difference between an established business where they need to say these things, have these colors. So let's go back into Goose. That one is still running. Just what is this one even trying to do? I don't forgot. It's been so long. Something about a sidebar menu. All right, next Jack. We are having a build issue at the interview point because we are not acknowledging whether or not this person has an established business where they would have the information on their target market. They would have their color coordinations. They would have all this information, at least in idea form, to give to you, versus someone who is starting their very first business, where you may be able to take more control, but ensure that it is customized to them from a content perspective. All right, so I think that that'll solve another problem that I just realized. One of the biggest build issues is we can't say that because you don't have a project inside of Clajama, you don't already have an established brand. Even though our goal is the non-tech savvy, I know lots of people non-tech savvy making a lot of money, and they pay someone else to do the parts they don't want to do. Simple. So we take this same idea and we're building it into an automated system, something that we don't want to touch, but we want it to run on a traditional map that's been proven. We can minimize its destruction or its ability to be tricked into doing something that it isn't supposed to do. So if we find out if a person has a business already, they'll already have an idea. They'll probably already have made that logo, or they may have even already had a website already. And I'm waiting on this to come back. That leads into the clone feature. It is a copyright safe clone feature that I have not activated because of the copyright part of it. We could send the AI to go to Facebook, log in, be me, and scrape everything that it touches, grab all templating, and then tell it to just build another backend. That would be bad. That would be bad from a service perspective. That would make our tool look malicious. And so there is a import site function, but we have to have some sort of verification. And that's going to be kind of the difference. We're still going to put, you need people in certain places to do verifications. Because I would actually hate if I spent $20,000 on a website and then somebody just goes, oh, this works, copy, paste, green to blue, change, logo, same products. From a IT perspective, I don't see anything wrong with that. But from a building a service that you put in the masses' hands, some checks and balances are safer to just keep in place. Because imagine somebody pulled that on your own site, which who would care? All of it's code, all of it's open source, all of us using AI. Even the people who wrote all the code the AI was trained on. It was free. Somebody wanted somebody to see it. Now the biggest copycat in the world has come through. Oh man. All right. So let's see what it says about checks for car. It doesn't ask if the person has an established business, brands, needs more guidance and creative control from Clajama. And so it's supposed to be doing the build interview. So the build interview is what's breaking the chat. But the auth menu, the auth is what's breaking the dashboard. Because if I'm logged in as an admin and I still see regular users menu, it doesn't even know I'm logged in. So it definitely probably not show me that page. Okay. All right, let me run inside real quick. Hey, do not be throwing those in each other's faces, doing crazy stuff. Do you understand? I'm coming right back. Well, take the water out. I told you, hey, do not pick it up. You'll pop it. It's just like a plastic. All right. Come in here really quick. Let me go ahead and put in my Google Remote Desktop. Come while I'm in here. Oh, actually, I have to do it over here. I have to do it over here. I got you this time. Everybody know I be just. I was having API keys out in the open. I was just. Dang. And I might be able to get it to where y'all could see let's see, connect to another. What am I? Share this screen. So I'm thinking this, let me see. Share this screen. You can't add or remove items in Incog. Come on, Felicia. Oh, so that's incognito. This shouldn't be incognito. This one's not. Chrome remote desktop. Just give me the code, dude. That's all I'm asking for. This is not a stick up yet. All right, got the code. 3, and I gotta get back out there. 34143414. Connect. Yeah, go ahead and hit share. Let me see where we at. Oh no! Apple got this thing where you swipe backwards. Bruh. I miss my iPhone 3GS. And it had a compass in it. Oh my goodness. It's not taking this number. 5. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. I just hit a refresh. Generate another one. Bro, I can't have them kids outside longer than this. For sure. This is the last attempt, and I gotta go 0075. All right, it's connected. Boom. Make sure you don't swipe. How do I get to my other screen though? Here we go. Bam, bam. What in the world? Okay, so I'm in now. All right, so yeah, we can keep working. So this one, I don't need it on that one. I got this, got that. At least where's my water? Coca-Cola. All right, I'm headed back outside. All right, connected to the computer. Yeah, I should just no, because it's not on my laptop. That's why it's on the desktop. All right, so let's go ahead and. You gotta pull the plug out. I showed you I do it yesterday. Just do what I told you yesterday. Huh? You have to sit on the wall of it. That little hole is not gonna let all of it out. It's too. No, so she needs to come in the middle. Stand in the middle and push down the middle because it's already on the hip. You know what I'm saying? Now push it down. Help her. She can't push down. It will pop. It's just plastic. Yeah. How about if you sit on it, come on, faster. Sit on the wall of it. Yeah, much faster. No, on the hill. I can't. I'll tear it. It's so heavy. But this one is heavy. I will my fingers work into this, trying to force it to do that. Why don't you come over here? You know, the water coming out? No, so you got. How about you lift up your side, Logan? Just keep lifting it. Push down, yeah. It's probably gonna pop it. Here, just move. Can you just move? Can you stop talking? Can you leave the water out of this one? It's plastic. Well, tell her what kind of help. It's too heavy. It's nobody's fault. It's too heavy. No, do not grip it. That's how you'll break it. Okay. All right. Do the same thing to the other one. You gotta figure it out. You'll figure it out. All right. So while they're doing that, let me see if I can get over here. Reload. Okay. What? I don't know what's going on. This thing somehow went into. Hey, this water is probably hot. This hose been sitting in the sun. I don't know what you're saying. That's the opposite of what I'm saying. All right, get those. Okay. Hey, make sure it's not hot. That stuff will come out of there 100 degrees. Okay. Thanks, Google. Let's see. Server error. Let's pop over here. All right, so it's one of two things. Either I think something's wrong with the sync. This one here, you can log in, or it's still off. Overloaded. I know it's not overloaded. Okay. All 3 files compile. Yeah. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take a break here. As soon as I come in, those kids start arguing and they're playing in water. Definitely don't want the worst outcome. And